Hi, this is my 1999 Chrysler Concord. I'm going to be replacing a strut today, and I pretty much got everything prepped so I don't have to fight with all these nuts and bolts. So you'll see me kind of going through this pretty quickly, and so here we go. On a strut, you have to take off you have to open up the hood on the car, and the strut mounts go through the fender, and on this vehicle there's four nuts that have to come off on the top here to release it from there. So we'll get to that later. That'll be the very end. So here we go. I got the car jacked up. I got it on. I got a stand underneath here to prevent it if it falls. And I usually take the tire. And I drop it down. Put it underneath the car this way in case the car falls, it don't crush me. Here we go. I'm gonna have to take off for the strut. I'm gonna have to take off these two bolts here, the outer tie rod, the sway bar link, and this here is a sensor for the ABS. You gotta be real careful with these things. They're kind of expensive to replace. So this is, I loosened these up earlier, like I said. And this is just a mount that mounts to the strut itself. So, and I usually put everything, all my nuts and bolts, in a magnetic tray. This way I don't have to look for them later on the ground, or I don't accidentally kick one of them. So, there you go. Usually with these big bolts, there's splines in them. This part right here, this bolt here, you don't want to try and turn it because there's splines that are going through here. I'll show you in a second. Usually put a nut back on so I don't mess up the threads on that bolt. Usually they don't come out that easy, but like I said, I prepped this and I oil these so they don't take up video time. And then I usually take a little oil pan and I put it underneath here, so when I'm spraying WD-40 on all the nuts and bolts, it don't go all over the driveway. That should pretty much come out. That'll come out there. With the link system on the sway bar, usually have to use a socket and a wrench to loosen it, because it'll turn, it'll spin, and you'll never get the bolt off. So I already did that. And I whack it with the hammer. And there we go. And I noticed before, when I had it apart, that the link for the sway bar is loose. So I don't know if you can see this, but I'll show it. Try and show it. It's loose. That's not good. That makes noise when you're driving. So I'll be replacing that, but not in this video. There'll be another one. And I got the cotter pin. I gotta pull the cotter pin out of the outer tie rod. Wrong size. It's a 17 millimeter. On the cars now, everything's metric, so you're gonna need metric tools if you want to work on a car today. And if you can see, here's all my tools pretty much here. Got my sockets and pry bar and my air tool. Everything pretty much is metric. Same thing with this. There's a tool, a fork you can put in here to break this free, this outer tie rod free, but I don't want to damage the boot. So what I usually do is I take the nut and I make it even with the bolt that's exposing it, so I don't mess up the threads. And I take a hammer and a good swack with it. I already did this earlier, so it's loose, so. And it usually pops out right away without messing up the threads, and then take it out. And that's that. That's everything pretty much here underneath the car is off. Now I'm going to take those bolts off on the top of the fender, and it'll come right out. I already got most of them out, so it'll fall down. There it goes. You see it fell through. You got 4 of these on this vehicle. Some have 3, some have 4. That's pretty much it. Now it should come right out. Sometimes you gotta mess with them a little bit, and that's it. That's it. That's it right there. Can you see it? Can you see it? That's it. Yeah. Next, I'm going to take the spring off. Yeah. Show you how to take the spring off, compress the spring, and then put the spring on the new strut. And I'll show you the new strut that I got. This is it right here. That's it. Can you see it okay? Comes with the nut that goes on top of here. And you usually have to take, to get this to come out, you have to take and twist it about 1 turn, and then it'll come out. There you go. Now I'll take everything and transfer it from here to here. And that's it. That's my new strut. Thanks. Hope this helps.